Gonna finally pick the winner of the Tyreek Hill signed jersey. And we're gonna react to two videos that are very interesting. What is up, Finn fans? No beating around the bush. No will they, won't they? No commercial break. Right into it. Right into it. I had to go through. So for the jersey, for the 40K giveaway, there was 148 entries. For this Mamma Jam, there was 241 emails and tweets I had to go through to make this list because I'm big dumb. And I didn't know that you can make a Word document and you guys could just sign up on there. So I had to go through all these emails. I had to go through all of these tweets. So if you notice, there's no T's next to these. See how there's no T's next to these? And all of a sudden, boom, a bunch of T's. Those T's are Twitter. So these are Twitter DMs, those T's, and then these are all emails. 241. But before we jump into this, I know I said I wouldn't, but we have a special video and we have a special shout out from a special somebody that I want to play.
Yo, what's up? This is Tyreek Hill, aka the Cheetah. Douglie, I just want to say congrats. Shout out to you for also being the best YouTuber. And just shout out to all of your accomplishments, man. So that being said, thank you for the support. The Cheetah loves you. And it's always fans up, baby.
Yeah, that was Tyreek Hill. And couldn't be more happy that he knows who I am. Shout out to his grandfather, Herman Hill, who got us the jersey. And shout out to Sean Sipler, who also helped us get these jerseys. So now, without further ado. Oh, and Aiden Sipler. What's up, my man? Let's spin this. Who's winning an autographed Tyreek Hill jersey? That sucker's spinning and a spinning and a spinning. And the winner is Tanner Gang. Tanner, my man. So I'm going to email you. You've already been emailed. So you already know you won. But congratulations. And now let's go on to reacting to some videos. So the first one we're going to react to is from PFF. They have their own YouTube channel. And they react to the Miami Dolphins free agency moves. And we're going to kind of see what they have to say about that.
Staying in the AFC East, what do we like and not like about the Miami Dolphins, what they've done so far?
I think it has to be the Jalen Ramsey deal, right?
Yeah, I love Jalen Ramsey.
Obviously.
Like,
everyone likes
getting a
Jalen
player
Ramsey
that
deal.
good for a song, that draft pick, I mean, that's fantastic business.
It was the
It's hard to argue
Patriots.
with that.
If
Like,
you
have
don't
the
know,
space to fit him in, which they
it was the Patriots draft pick. It wasn't the Dolphins draft pick. So it was a higher of the two draft picks, but it wasn't the Dolphins.
do, then what the hell?
Even moving him to a 2-year guaranteed contract, all fine. I mean, those are the aggressive. I like aggressive moves generally, and I like high upside moves. This is a high upside move at the right position. Having Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard on the outside, the scheme fit with Vic Fangio. I like the move quite a bit. This is what the Dolphins have to do, and now and they are playing the first contract quarterback game, right? They've got Tua on the first contract. You can essentially afford to have a high-priced receiver and a high-priced corner, and using basically the same thing I said about the Bills. Where do I want my high-priced players to be? At the most valuable positions. So I think that all fits in with what they're doing.
And Ramsey's still only 28. When
2 years left
when
on
he's sort of up for the next deal,
I think that's why they gave him the contract and the extension that they did, about 2 years. He's got about 2 years. Once he hits 30, they'll probably move on from him. And you'll probably see him and Xavier Howard's replacements already kind of on the roster. I think Cater's Xavier Howard's replacement, and you might see Jalen's get drafted next year.
probably going to be in a tougher spot salary-wise because all of a sudden you probably won't have a quarterback on the first contract. So it's kind of timed nicely to be able to say we get 2 years out of him fully guaranteed, then we end up letting him walk. And there's a benefit these days to letting a player as good as that walk and sign somewhere else. Like, they can let him hit free agency and potentially get a compensatory draft pick back in the process. So it makes sense. It's a good process move. It's a good personnel move just from an addition of talent standpoint. And they are loading up at the right areas. They've now got this, we said this multiple times this week, they've got arguably 2 number 1 wide receivers and arguably 2 number 1 cornerbacks. That's good roster construction.
Yes, love that. Well said. David Long was also a really good deal, right? In this crazy, are we going to like everything?
No, I mean, I'm sure we'll hate some things.
I'm sure we'll hate something.
My previous track record would suggest there are things I won't like.
Yeah, I was a little worried we were going to be overly optimistic here, and then thanks for reminding me that you would never let that happen. So I'm liking a lot of what the Dolphins did here, because the aggressive move was at the right positions. The more subtle moves were David Long at linebacker, who is a guy that graded at 76 last year, one of the most valuable linebackers by PFF WAR last year. 2 years, $11 million. When we're talking about Tremaine Edmonds and some of the linebackers, busting the mark.
Yeah, the Dolphins got he has an injury history that the Dolphins have to worry about, but the contract is just high. It's not even high risk; it's low risk, high reward, because it's 2 years, $11 million.
Market pretty well. David Long on the cheap, and then just getting the running backs back, Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson again on the cheap, rather than going crazy for some of the bigger name running backs.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Miami is doing the running back thing the way we've been arguing you should do it, which is don't give a giant free agent contract to any kind of running back. Don't give big money to the second deal. You can get guys like Mostert.
They could go after Delvin Cook still, and they still can go after Derrick Henry. I'm not saying they are or aren't, but there's a lot that still can be done.
Or Jeff Wilson Jr. for 2 years and under $10 million apiece. 8.2 for Wilson, 5.6 for Mostert. Both those guys are under contract for 2 years for the kind of price of one marquee free agent running back.
Is there anything the Dolphins haven't done, or anything that they have done that you don't like? Because to me, it's only like, all right, did they need to address guard or right tackle a little bit more? Do they need to? I probably suggested Kelvin Beachum for them to come in and play right tackle. But, of course, he goes back to Arizona.
Yeah.
Did they address a couple offensive line positions, or did they address tight end where Mike Gesicki's still out there?
They do still need to.
Those are the 2 question marks that still need to be addressed, whether the draft or whatever. But those are still the 2 question marks.
Work on the offensive line. They obviously need a tight end at some point. And it's a good draft for that, so maybe that's their approach there. Like maybe you would have liked to see them add an offensive lineman, but it's the kind of position where, look, there's still guys out there that can come in there and be capable starters of this team. They're not done yet necessarily. I also like, by the way, the addition of Mike White.
I like everything. Look at you liking everything that the Dolphins and Bills have done so far.
I mean, a team that expects to have Tua back and 100% healthy, but has to, at the very minimum, be thinking of him as a potentially fragile quarterback at this stage, has added a guy who has shown for 2 years in a row now that if you have to play him and give him starts, he can look like a capable starter at times. So it's a bit rich, 2 years, $16 million, but that's, I think, a sensible
2 years up to $16 million. He's making $2.7 million this year, and then they can move off from him. Again, there's that option clause. So he's only making $2.7 million. He has a lot of incentives. I think that the guaranteed money is like $5 million, give or take. I don't know off the top of my head. A lot of incentives and signing bonus money, but it's cheap. $2.7 million against the cap. It's cheap.
Contingency plan.
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good with Miami. I guess the only questions are, how do they handle those other holes on the roster? Would love to see them upgrade at tight end. Would love to see more competition on the offensive line. And then just overall depth on the defensive side. Lose Deshaun Elliott at safety. Brandon Jones is coming back. I mean, I think they're really good in the secondary. So
yeah,
I guess it's the same thing that I've been saying, kind of, where it's offensive line. It's offensive line and tight end, and again, Not saying they will, not saying they won't, but don't be surprised if they try to make a move for Dalvin Cook or try to make a move for Derrick Henry. There's probably calls that are happening. There's probably compensation that's probably happening. If the Dolphins can get either Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry for a third, I can see them doing it. You send a third, like especially with the Titans, you send a third and Cedric Wilson Jr. possibility. They do need some wide receiver help. So we'll see. And then with Dalvin Cook, I don't know what the Vikings want. I haven't heard any rumblings of what they want. It's definitely not a first. You're not going to – these guys aren't going to be commanding first-round picks for running backs. It's just not 2002, 2003 anymore. It just isn't. So now we're going to jump to another video that I want to react to. Marcellus Wiley. He had something to say about the whole Aaron Rodgers to the Jets and potentially Aaron Rodgers to the Miami Dolphins. Now, earlier today, while I was working on some videos and putting a bunch of stuff together, clicked over to say what's up to my boy Reason if Inside the NFL. Go check him out. And I heard him talking about this. So I wanted to check out the video myself, and I was like, you know what? Let me do a live reaction to it. So I checked out like the first two or 3 seconds, and I was like, I'm going to do a live reaction. So we're going to react to this together and see what Marcellus Wiley had to say.
Stop the music, DJ. You said had a great career here. Is he leaking oil? Is he leaking what he really knows but doesn't want to say? Because he just said it. Aaron had a great career here. Now, Aaron Rodgers also chimed in. Stay tuned. Some more ellipses. Whatever. He ain't talking about nothing. Then it says, it won't be long, a decision. Now, a birdie told me that knows Aaron Rodgers, that works out with Aaron Rodgers. That's all I can tell you before I get my informant, my source, in trouble. He told me there is a deal on the table from the Jets that is hella tempting. But at the same time, it's basically those two decisions. And I heard that Aaron don't even really want to play for the Jets. That's like his second choice. His first choice was Miami, but then they picked up Tua's fifth-year option, so therefore he's like, all right, do I really want to go to my third option? Because Green Bay still fits in there just because of how long you've been there and your tenure, right? Your legacy will be pure staying there in Green Bay. But that's what I heard. I don't know if that's conjecture, rumors. It's just some informed information, if you can say that, right?
That's kind of interesting. Now, obviously, I think he made this video. Let me look at when this video came out. So a day ago. That's interesting. This came out a day ago. It's on his YouTube channel, Marcellus Wiley. Go check it out. It's a full 6-minute video. You can go check out the whole thing. Very interesting. He even talked about on Christmas Day about playing with the Miami Dolphins and all that stuff. And obviously the Dolphins chose the 5th-year option instead of going after Aaron Rodgers. And I'm pretty sure if the Dolphins were like, we're going to move on from Tua and they could have got Aaron Rodgers. And without a question, they could have got Aaron Rodgers. Even though they don't have a first-round pick, they probably have to give up, a first next year, if that, or one of their second, whatever. But they didn't. I just find it funny that Jets were his and I think that's why he came out and said, I intend to play for the Jets. This is intentions. Intentions can change. But I find that funny that he, wanted to go to Miami. Nope. And again, like Marcellus Wiley said, speculation, rumors. It's a guy he worked out with that, he knows Aaron Rodgers and yada yada, works out with Aaron Rodgers. I just find it funny and I find it interesting. Again, I think Reason talks more in depth about it. I saw him bring it up and then I was like, I kind of want to watch it. And then I got sidetracked. So now I was like, let's do a live reaction. So go check that out. It was yesterday's episode of Inside the NFL. Go check out his full episode. But that's what I got for you today. Tanner, I hope you're happy. You won the jersey. Tyreek, thank you so much for the video and for signing the 2 jerseys so I can give one of them away. Thank you guys for 5 years. Got a lot to do, a lot of videos. We're going to start breaking down prospects, all that good stuff. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. But usual, stay classy. F up.